Can Apple learn anything from this new Google phone? The iPhone 16e, supposedly the iPhone 16 for everybody, with its cheap price of $600. Well, this is the Google Pixel 9a, the Pixel 9 for everybody for $500. So, what are the differences? The Pixel 9a has a 6.3-inch 120Hz OLED screen branded Google Actua for better colors at max brightness. The iPhone 16e has a 6.1-inch 60Hz OLED panel. The processor in the Google 9a is a Google Tensor G4, a 3.1 GHz Google-made chip. The SoC inside the iPhone 16e is the all-powerful Apple A18 at 4.04 GHz. The Pixel has a 48-megapixel main camera and 30-megapixel ultra-wide camera, another 30-megapixel on the front. The iPhone 16e, a single 48-megapixel main camera and a 12-megapixel selfie camera on the front. Now, the Pixel 9a rocks a 5100 mAh battery with wired and wireless charging. The iPhone has a 4000 mAh with wired and wireless, but no magnets, no MagSafe on any of them. In the design department, the iPhone 16e definitely reigns supreme. It's all metal and glass with a soft touch matte back, a slimmer bezel for sure, even if it has that controversial notch at the top of the display. The Pixel 9a's bezel is quite thick, its build materials are a combination of aluminum and plastic, and it feels warmer to the touch. At least Google gives you more colors to pick from, where the iPhone 16e only comes in black and white. Also, the iPhone look overall still has that iPhone DNA. I don't know why, but Google stripped the Pixel 9a from its signature looks. The camera bar or pill on the back is now a small island. It just overall looks kinda meh. In the performance department, the iPhone 16e does reign supreme. The Apple A18 chip is the same you'd find on the mainline iPhone 16 or 16 Pro, minus a GPU core or two. It rocks the benchmark tests and consistently scores higher than the Tensor G4 inside the Pixel 9a. Interesting to note, an A18 that has been throttled by the 3D Mark stress test scores about the same as the Tensor when it's at its peak and not throttling. The Google Tensor G4 is not a powerhouse. Google focuses on dedicated NPU cores for Google's AI and image pipeline for the Pixel photo processing. I wouldn't say that the Pixel 9a feels slow or sluggish. If I'm doing video editing or gaming, I'd pick the iPhone 16e for sure. But if I just want a solid core smartphone experience, I wouldn't write the Pixel 9a off. Of course, both of these can run games like COD Mobile, Genshin, Arena Breakout. I would trust the iPhone to give me a better gaming experience with the A18 chip. Of course, thankfully, these games do have detail sliders, so they're not unplayable on a Pixel. The displays look great. They have warm and natural colors. You have some control over color calibration on the Pixel. Of course, if you want punchier OLED colors or more subdued and realistic. Also, Google's Android has this Material You design scheme where it can really match the app icons to the background, but Apple's iOS 18 also came with some sort of this feature in one way or the other. Still, Android has some better customization. On the cameras, the 48-megapixel main camera of the iPhone 16e is slightly better than the one on the Pixel 9a. It has slightly more natural details, you may say, better handling of high dynamics. Now, none of these phones have zoom lenses, but I'm happy to say that the Google Super Res algorithms make up for the main camera's performance. When magnifying in, the Google phone does just a little bit better, meaning it falls apart later into the zoom-in levels, where the iPhone is already showing a lot of signs of over-sharpening. The Pixel 9a does also give you an ultra-wide camera to play with for more framing options, and it's mostly fine with some distortion around the very edges of the image. With the selfies, both perform about the same, though the iPhone 16e may have the tendency to go a bit yellow or mess up skin tone depending on current lighting. Now, the Pixel 9a definitely wins in the battery endurance. With its 5100 mAh cell, it consistently lasts us between 2 and 5 hours more than the iPhone 16e, though it's worth noting that the 5-hour time gap is achieved in our gaming test. Obviously, the more powerful A18 chip draws more power while delivering a superior gaming experience. None of these are charging beasts. The Pixel charges with a 23-watt charger. The iPhone 16e draws 20 watts off the wall. You can plop them down on a cheap puck, but they only take 7.5 watts of wireless charging, so leave them on for a while. So the iPhone 16e has a few obvious benefits. 1, better performance. 2, better design. Also, it should have the full suite of Apple Intelligent features whenever the full suite arrives. On the other hand, the Pixel 9a has the limited Gemini Nano XXS model on board, which means it doesn't get the more demanding features from other Pixel 9 phones. Those are the automatic voice call summary and the new screenshots app. Those by themselves are not a huge issue, but the problem with the Gemini Nano XXS model is that it simply does not run continuously in the background, and so for any other advanced AI features that Google may deploy in the future, they may also not come to the Pixel 9a. Whereas Apple likes to treat the iPhone 16e like an iPhone. I'd say that for the price difference of $100, the iPhone 16e is still the slightly better choice if you can stomach the 60Hz screen, but the Pixel 9a still has a lot going for it. Longer battery life, the Magic Editor still works in Google Photos, Direct My Call and call screening are awesome features. It's the smart core Google experience. But this is a very cool core experience Apple phone with much more hardware headroom, if you will. Just saying. Alright, drop a comment, subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time. Pew! Pow!